So, this is Randy from the Metallic Onslaught.
Thank you, that was great.
We gotta go.
I'm here with Joe, and we are here with Carmine Appice and Vinny Appice, and notice I did differentiate the names
You
there.
did say it.
I am on the
Right.
ball here.
That's awesome.
So, before I get to the meat and potatoes here, I mean, because the whole DrumWars thing, have you guys always been competitive in nature as far as drumming
We're not
goes?
competitive at all.
Not at all.
No, Carmine knows I whip his ass on stage.
And he knows I'm the
I say the
original.
name right, and I've been in all the important bands in my career.
So your pronunciation is the correct one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, my older brother got the real one. It's Frank Appice.
Ah, okay. Which does make, yes?
That's the Italiano way.
Does he
Okay.
play drums too?
No.
Does he play anything?
He just bought a guitar. He's retired now. He lives near me, and he's taking up the guitar.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
So-
maybe one day we'll jam.
There you go.
I was teaching him some guitar the other day. He absolutely has no feel at all.
Wow.
He was in a band actually a long time ago
You
called
come
the
to the show
Laurels.
tonight?
Yes.
I almost want to
See me
say I've
play
heard of
guitar on
them.
my
He
drum.
thinks he heard of the
I
Laurels.
think I may have heard of them.
You heard of the Laurels?
I don't think I've ever
My,
heard anything by them.
please be my
They were kinda into
wow,
that.
my, please be my wow.
You know, my
That's
dad
Laurels.
played a
Are you guys
lot of
gonna do that
oldies when I
tonight?
was growing up, so.
We might do that. We should do that tonight.
My, goom, zoom, goom,
Yeah.
bop-a-doom.
Hey, everybody. Do-do-do, my,
Jim.
my, my, treat me, my,
Oh, this is awesome.
my. You don't know how to sing harmony. He's a lead singer.
So, with all that being said, how did you guys come together to put this DrumWars thing together?
It was all my idea
It
because
was?
Vinny don't think like that.
What a
Actually-
stupid idea.
Yeah.
You could have been home relaxing at this point.
Actually, 1988, we did a Sabian clinic tour.
Right.
And beep the Sabian, okay? And we had a great time, you know. So we talked about, we got to do this again. So they never really booked another clinic tour like that.
Right.
So in 1995, I had this video company with my older brother and my sister. And I said to Vinny, you know what, we should do a DVD, or at the time a video, called it DrumWars, because I had that copywritten, the name. I said, what a great title for like a drum battle thing, you know? So basically he said, yeah, okay, so we started putting it together. So in a long story short, we put together this crazy video that sold 10,000 copies, you know? So when it came out, we went out and we did some drum war promotions. And we had fun again, you know, we did some things together. We would appear at different venues and, you know, different events, and we went on and just did DrumWars stuff together.
Cool.
And then we, in 2004 or 5 or 6 or whatever it was, we decided to do a DVD of it. Might have been a little later. So we did some more interviews and added some more footage. It came out with a DVD. And at that point in time, it's probably 2008 or 9, I think, we were talking about maybe we should do a drum show, you know, because I had this show called Slam, and it was great, you know, but it was 9 people I had to travel with. So I said, you know, we should travel together and we can pick up bands like Chuck Berry does,
Right.
you know, and that was the original idea. And
Except for singer Jim Green over there.
he weaseled in here somehow, I don't know how. But.
He won't leave us alone till we let him sing with us.
No, but anyway, so long story short, we started doing it in 2011 when Ronnie Dio passed away. Vinny was sort of free to do something, so I said, now's the time to do it. So we experimented. We did a clinic in Albany, New York, and we did a gig in LA just to see the two sides of the DrumWars.
Right.
And both of them were successful.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then we did like maybe three more gigs, and we did it that way. I said we flew in, we used the opening band, we sent them the MP3s of the songs, and we just played the songs. And it wasn't really a show like it is now, you know. And then we did that through 2012, and at the end of 2012, we went on tour in Europe. We did 20 shows straight in like 5 weeks. And we had the same band, an Italian band.
That was good.
And we had the banner, and that's what really put the ideas together and said, now this ain't working, that doesn't work, this works, so let's do this, let's try that. And every night we try something different. By the time that tour was over, we had a kick-ass DrumWars show, you know. And then I think it was 2013, we started doing gigs, and we toured Canada, and then we came up this way. That's when we met Jim, and Jim was the singer that is in the pickup band.
Okay.
And then, and then he said, look, man, if you want me to sing with you, I could fly around because my wife works for JetBlue.
Colleen.
Colleen, who's a drummer. So,
They have a band too called
and
Hair
they have a
Nation.
band too,
Plain
which
old.
is a great band. And so we said, well, if you want to do that, because, we have a lot of trouble finding singers that can sing Dio at all, and he did a good job. So we said,
Cool.
if you want to do that, so then he started coming with us. So then it was just like we had 3 of us now traveling, and we just pick up a bass player and a guitar player here and there.
Right.
Yeah,
and then-
made it easy.
And then Ethan, who's on the live album, he released a solo album on my label called Rocket Records. And when we started doing a run last year, I know he always pays to get on these tours and pays to play on these gigs. And I said, you know what? He should do our little run. We're not going to charge him for it. It'd be good exposure for him. He could sell CDs and get his name around. So he joined us, and just happened we did the Iridium, and he was on guitar. And we got my bass player that's always played with us in New York. So now we have pockets of bands. We have a band up here, we got a band in New York City, we got a band in LA.
Nice.
We got a band
In Europe.
in Europe, we got a band in Chicago. But the only constant is me, Vinny, and Jim. For now.
For now.
Yeah.
So, considering the body of work that you guys have between the two of you, how difficult was it to come up with a set list for just, however, I don't know how long you're playing each night, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is. Was that...
Well, it took, again, that set list came about in Europe.
Mhm.
We started, we used to start with a song that we wrote called DrumWars, and then, we said, that's not working. We got to do something that people know. So Vinny suggested, what about we do Mob Rules? So we said, okay, so let's both
A
play
little
Mob
love
Rules.
song ballad called Mob Rules.
Yeah. So then we said, well, we'll both play it. Because when we play together, it's a lot of fun. He'll start a fill, I'll finish it. Or we'll just fuck around with the time, with the groove. He'll do off beats and I'll do the on beats, and then we'll both switch. And the fills. It's absolutely nuts.
So like any band, we
fun.
pick the popular songs.
Oh, yeah.
Between the two.
Yeah.
So
we
the
did
set list
that,
is
and we
pretty
did-
consistent from night to night? You don't really
Yeah.
switch it up?
No, I don't
So
really
we ended
switch
up doing what's
Okay.
on the CD. The
Okay.
CD was edited a little bit because, some of the visual stuff that we did on the CD doesn't work, unless you see it. Like you'll see stuff tonight where we throw sticks back and forth. On
do?
the CD, yeah. On a CD, it doesn't work, And even if, you throw the stick and somebody drops it, then we make a goof out of it, So it's pretty fun.
I'd never drop it.
Right.
So we have to
So-
cover for Carmine.
Aside from DrumWars, I know I've read somewhere that you've been out with Michael Schenker and been doing some Vanilla
God, that's
Fudge
old.
shows.
That's
Is-
old.
is it
Michael
old?
Schenker
Old,
was
yeah.
2010.
Was it that long ago? Wow.
Vanilla Fudge, though, we just
Okay.
released a new album.
He just played with Michael Schittner. Confusing it.
Mikey V.
That could be.
No,
Okay.
Vanilla Fudge just released a new album.
Yep.
We just did some shows with that. We do, this year is basically for me is DrumWars, Vanilla Fudge. Got some Cactus shows coming.
Nice.
Cactus album coming out, and I have a Rod show, a Rod Experience show, and it's just, and now it's all starting to really clash because everybody's looking for dates in the summer,
Oh, yeah.
and now it's like it's got an email from the Vanilla Fudge people. When are you available? And I said, well, I got some stuff going on in July with this, and they're not totally booked yet, but I'm working on bookings, and the Rated
called
X
the
thing's
Summer
got
Clash.
some gigs. It's crazy,
It must be confusing for everybody because they sent me Vanilla Fudge dates when it was supposed to be the DrumWars dates.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and I'm like, that's not where I
Who
live.
said that?
Smitty?
Smitty?
Yup,
Because Smitty handles Vanilla Fudge too, that's why.
I know.
He copied and pasted it
But
wrong.
Vanilla Fudge
Yeah.
doesn't sound
It was
like
really-
your cup of tea.
It was really confusing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not the
Vanilla
same
Fudge
band.
is not your,
I was a year old when the first Vanilla Fudge came out, so.
Yeah.
Although
You
I
could
will
kill
say,
me
my
about
first
it.
concert
You guys look
was
like you're
Ozzy,
into
Bark at
more
the Moon in Rochester with
Harder
you.
stuff.
okay.
And I have seen you twice with Dio, so it's...
Gotta admit, I was
This
better.
was a big thing for me to get for, both of us to get this
I was
interview.
better.
I got to say that now,
I was
man.
better.
It's
Come
like,
on,
thanks.
be honest.
You
I
both
was
played
better.
Rochester because I saw
Yeah.
You were
and
both
King
amazing.
Cobra in Rochester.
We
What's
used to
that?
play
I saw you with
Rochester
King
all the
Cobra.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss?
everybody
We
used to
would
play Rochester
War
all the time.
Memorial.
Kiss?
War Memorial, yep.
Somebody else.
Yeah, it was Kiss. and
This
somebody
Dio's
else.
country.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
there
is
was a lot
cactus
of Dio
country, man.
shows.
Cactus is big up here.
Well, they're in, that time period in the mid to late 80s, even the early, I want to say from any time from, 82 to, 88, the bands would hit Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Rochester, swing south to Binghamton, and you don't get that anymore at all.
No,
It's
because
crazy.
it's too expensive.
It is.
I mean, you had a ticket to a Cactus show was $3.50, $3.50. Now
Yeah.
they're $3.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, Vinny, outside of, you're doing Kill Devil Hill these days as well. No?
That's old too.
Is that old? I was under the impression you guys were still,
Kill Devil Hill.
you had a couple of
No,
albums.
I left last January.
How did I miss
Not even
that?
this January. Last January, 2014.
Or
We
maybe
finished
I
the
didn't know.
tour
Maybe I was
and-
thinking it was Rex who wasn't involved anymore. And
No,
I'm-
they got another drummer.
they got
and,
okay.
And they continued. I don't know what they're doing.
I may have gotten a little confused there.
Yeah.
I'll
I am
admit to
doing the original Dio band called The Last in Line
Okay,
with Vivian Campbell and Jimmy Bain.
right.
And we just finished an album on Frontiers that'll be out. It was supposed to come out in the summer, but Def Leppard's touring this year, so we're gonna wait till they finish.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you.
Was that a live album then, or a
No,
studio?
new studio album. Sounds really, really good stuff. The singer's Andy Freeman. He sings at the Rock Ball show and sang
Okay.
with a bunch of people, George Lynch and Offspring and a bunch of bands. Killer singer. So
You've done shows, right? Live
done shows.
with
Yeah,
that
we went
band?
over to Europe, Japan, some LA dates.
Did people's
People
minds
went nuts.
explode? Yeah.
We played stuff mainly just from Holy Diver and Last in Line. People went crazy. We did big festivals in Japan, big festivals in Europe. It was good. The reaction was fantastic.
Yeah, it seems like the States would be accepting of this, and the arenas
Yeah.
just aren't as big.
Well, it's,
You can
the
play
closest you're going to
festivals
get to
over there.
that music.
Yeah.
Ronnie not here anymore, and
Yeah.
we played it. We wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
We'd know every note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say that as these Dio tribute band. They play the songs. We know. We play all the notes.
It's
So,
funny,
but
'cause he's doing that. I did that with the Rod Stewart show.
Mhm.
You know, we wrote the songs. We played them. We did the videos. We toured them. And it's really the only way we get to play the songs again
Right.
is to do that.
So speaking of Last in Line, this
Well,
kind of
Rod
ties
Stewart
in.
doesn't even do the songs nowadays anyway.
We do the 1979 Blondes Have More Fun, Kick-Ass Rock
There you
show.
go.
That's what we do. He don't
Yeah.
do that.
He plays everyone else's music now, doesn't he?
Well, he just plays Frank
That's fine.
Sinatra shit
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I went to a 70th birthday party, and the whole theme was a 40s theme. He had the Glenn Miller Orchestra playing. And he went and sat in with
doing
them.
lounge music these days,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Wow.
So I mean, back to the Last in Line thing.
But he's not playing at where are we playing tonight?
Lizard.
Lizards,
The Lizards.
Sleeping lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not playing. He didn't
Lizards
play after
Tailgator
playing
Lounge.
Lizards. We're actually using this as a warm-up for
It's
the
a
next two
warm-up
shows.
show, and
Because we
It'll be
haven't
fun.
really played DrumWars in a couple of months. And
It'll be fun.
we said, let's get any place to play the night
I
before
have to
Buffalo.
admit,
Yeah.
I was a bit of a smartass on the event page. I asked if there was going to be room for people after both drum kits were set up.
there's three drum. There's
There
another
are.
drum kit for the
They
opening band.
got
Well,
they
yeah.
got a drum set
He's
on the floor,
on the
and
floor on the
they started
side.
bringing all their amps in. There's no room for any people. I said to the owner, I said, why do you have bands opening? You ruined the whole
Yeah.
an evening with,
Yeah,
and even who cares about other stuff, bands, Yeah, people
Yeah,
would rather
you're-
listen to music on the PA.
They were in
and
the
wait.
opening band.
Oh my God.
You're gonna play Buffalo, and it's gonna be huge. That
Yeah.
place is huge.
yeah. The town ballroom is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's good. They said
What were you
it's doing
saying about
well.
Last in Line?
We actually had a fan submitted, or a listener submitted question asking if Ronnie and Vivian had ever reconciled after, because I know there was a lot of bad blood between them for,
Yeah, no, they never did.
they never did.
And, Ronnie, it would have to be a really big thing to with what, talking about each other in the press like that, so.
Yeah, I mean,
That ain't gonna
it's a
happen.
simple thing, Ronnie he put this band together, it was a band.
Yeah.
And Wendy, Ronnie, they took the lion's share, if not all of it, and just paid everybody's salaries, and Viv didn't like that, I wouldn't like it either, nobody liked it. But it's,
Yeah,
It's a shame.
Unfortunately, it went out in the public, and then people think
yeah,
one guy's wrong and the other guy's right.
Yeah.
They don't know the whole story.
No, they don't, and
Yeah.
things get blown out of proportion, and,
Yeah, totally. It's just like Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood, Rod
Right.
Stewart and Jeff Beck.
okay,
Those guys used to have a running feud. When I was at Rod, Jeff was in the same hotel as us in Australia, and I invited Jeff to the gig. I told Rod, he said, cool? He said, yeah. When Jeff walked into the room, the whole fucking room stood still. It was like, whoa, you know, and then actually got together and gave each other a hug. I said, hey, all right, nice gentleman of you. But the press, I mean, some of the stuff in the press was
oh, they just
vicious.
feed off that stuff, absolutely.
Vicious.
Gotta have stories.
Gotta have stories and drama,
Controversy
and,
and drama.
so, considering, I mean, you guys have both worked with numerous people over the years, is there anybody you haven't worked with yet that you'd like to collaborate with? Is there anybody left at this point?
I don't think there's anybody left because really, there's, you know, just show me a new band that's, you know, great, you know.
It'd be fun to jam with certain people, you know,
Sure.
Jimmy Page.
I mean,
Eddie
I
Van
played
Halen,
with
that'd
Jimmy
be
Page,
fun.
and I played with Led Zeppelin when we were on tour when they opened up for us, and
Yep.
you know, and then we had next tour. So I did that.
Glenn Miller.
I played with Glenn Miller. I played with, you know, we played with Deep Purple. We played mostly. I jammed with. I don't know. There's really nobody I want to play with. You know, I did my Guitar Zeus record. I played with every great guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had 20 guitar players on each album. You know, from Yngwie to Steve Morse to everybody. So it's like. I said one time in the press in an interview, I said I'd like to play with Led Zeppelin. You know. They go, why? Do you think you're a better fit? And I said, yeah, I think I'm a better fit than Jason, only because I'm an old guy, a legendary guy, like Led Zeppelin guys. You know, I played that style. Bonzo and me had the same influences, except I was his influence a bit. You know, and we were
I didn't
friends.
realize that.
Huh?
I didn't realize that you were one of his influences.
Yeah,
actually.
they opened up for us. I'm the one that got his Ludwig endorsement for him.
Very cool.
And if you read a book called Thunder of Drums, it's all about Bonzo's life. And you know, puts that in there, you know, which made me feel good because, you know, whenever I used to say it, it was like I was egoing that. But when I met John Bonham, he was unknown. You know, you have to understand, he was unknown. And, you know, so the thing got blown up on the internet, ridiculous, you know. Like I was putting down Jason Bonham. I wasn't putting down Jason. I said, Jason's good, but he's not his father.
No.
And he don't come from the same roots that his father comes from, so he plays different. You know, and that's really all I was trying to say. I said I thought I was a better fit because a lot of the riffs that John did were a couple of mine, a bunch of mine, and I could play like that, you know, and he could. But yeah, it got blown out of proportion on the internet. That it was ridiculous. I had people calling me and saying, "Wow, I agree with you." I said, "That's never going to happen anyway. Led Zeppelin's never going to get together." So Robert Plant told me that in 2004, and so far he kept his word.
Yeah. Well, unless you have anything more, Joe,
I don't think I do.
I only have one more
Probably see
question.
that blow up now.
And,
That'll happen.
Make sure you not make it nasty.
No. This is something I like to toss out, and I haven't had a chance to do it in a while, and figure I get two opinions on this.
I mean, I'd like to play with Mahavishnu Orchestra, actually. That'd be fun.
If Buddy Holly had survived the plane crash, would Elvis Presley still be the king of rock and roll? I like tossing this out every now and
Would
then.
they be the king of rock and roll?
Would
they
Elvis
were the
Presley
king
still
of
be the
that
king
kind
of
of
rock and
rock.
roll if Buddy Holly had survived?
Yeah, but I don't think they would have gone on, just like Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry.
Right.
They went on to a certain point, and then they,
and
you know, they
music
just stayed
changed.
where they were, you know. I mean, I don't think they would have been like the Beatles or anything like that.
Unless Buddy Holly kept writing hits. You never know.
Or sounded like
Changing
Weezer.
with the times. Huh?
Or sounded like Weezer.
Yeah.
But who knows?
He might have wound up in the Mahavishnu Orchestra.
You may have.
True.
Who knows? I mean, you know, the Beatles might not have come out and been big because these guys were in their place. But I mean, when Elvis died, he wasn't really king.
Not anymore.
You know,
No.
I mean, I was with Rod Stewart then. Rod Stewart was bigger than Elvis Presley
Yeah.
at that point. We were playing 6 nights at the Forum, and Elvis was doing, one night at the theater and maybe a few nights at the theater at the Hilton, And
Oh,
a
he
big
did every
difference.
night.
Yeah.
700 and something shows sold out.
Yeah,
He did,
get at it. Every night
yeah.
in Vegas?
That's what they say.
Well, there you go. Well, I
Probably
was
had a
wrong.
day off here and there, but 700 and something shows.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't,
Ronnie
I
would have
think-
been the king of rock and roll. He had the song
Yeah,
King of
Ronnie
Rock and
was
Roll.
He
the king of
did,
metal.
you know something?
True.
Ronnie was a tremendous singer. But there again, Ronnie came from the same roots. He had the soul in him.
He did.
Soul.
He had soul in him. The guys
Soul.
today have no freaking soul.
Well, when I've played some stuff for people, because YouTube is a wonderful thing, and they're like, who is this? I'm like, that's Ronnie before he he even joined Elf or Rainbow, and it's like, no. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a soulful singer, man.
He
And he
yeah.
put that soul into metal.
Yeah.
That's
the way he sang.
Just
so
like,
it's not-
Vanilla Fudge, our singer Mark Stein, is a very soulful singer, and he influenced the guys like in Purple and all that,
Oh yeah, I mean,
probably
Purple was my
ended up-
gateway, to be honest.
and all that heavy vibrato, and it was more soulful, Singers today, there's no soul at all, What are you writing, Vin?
Sign it for him.
Yeah, because I forgot to bring stuff to sign. I was so busy.
We could have had
What
staff.
time
Brainstorming.
do you leave? 9:30? We don't want to sit in that
Yeah.
fucking place.
No, not at all.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay.
We'd like to thank you for an awesome interview.
Yes.
and I'm
Thank
sure-
you.